Welcome to RIP News. Today, June 4, 2025, we mourn the loss of 7 American legends who passed in the last 24 hours. Join us as we pay heartfelt tribute to their legacies. Please like, support, and subscribe to our channel for more updates. Thank you. Jim Marshall. What's the most jaw-dropping blunder in NFL history that still haunts a legend's legacy? Jim Marshall, a titan of the gridiron, lived a career full of triumphs and one wild misstep that keeps fans talking decades later. Buckle up as we dive into the incredible story of a man who defined durability and left an indelible mark on football. Kicking things off, Jim Marshall burst onto the scene from humble roots. Born December 30, 1937, in Kentucky, he carved his path at Ohio State, dominating as a Buckeye before a brief detour to the Canadian Football League with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Drafted by the Cleveland Browns in 1960, he quickly found his true home with the Minnesota Vikings, where a historic journey began. Soon, Marshall became a cornerstone of the Vikings' fearsome Purple People Eaters defense. Alongside stars like Alan Page and Carl Eller, he terrorized quarterbacks in the 1960s and 70s. This relentless squad brought a gritty edge to Minnesota, powering the team to greatness and cementing a nickname that still echoes in NFL lore. But that wasn't the whole story. Imagine playing 282 games, every single one in Vikings history, by 1979, without missing a snap. Marshall did just that, racking up an NFL record 270 consecutive starts as a defensive player. His 29 fumble recoveries, another league record, showcased a knack for chaos. This Iron Man redefined toughness, but one play would steal the spotlight. In 1964, facing the San Francisco 49ers, Marshall scooped up a fumble and sprinted 66 yards, straight into his own end zone. In a shocking twist, he tossed the ball out, handing the 49ers a safety. This wrong-way run became an infamous gaffe, a hilarious yet humbling moment that still fuels laughs and debates. And what happened next would shock everyone. Off the field, Marshall's life was just as compelling. Living in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, he married twice, first to Anita, with whom he had 2 daughters, then to Susan. After hanging up his cleats, he dove into finance, real estate, and insurance, while quietly championing foundations for homeless and unemployed youth. His heart matched his hustle. Yet a mystery lingers. With records, Pro Bowls, and a storied career, why isn't Jim Marshall in the Hall of Fame? Rumors suggest the wrong-way run overshadows his stats, while fans speculate politics or bias play a role. It's been said that his case keeps slipping through the cracks, leaving supporters buzzing online. Here's what's being said and what we know so far. On June 3, 2025, Marshall passed away, at 87 in Minneapolis, after a period of hospitalization. Colin Jerwood. Ever wonder what it takes to be a true rebel in music? Colin Jerwood, the heart of anarcho-punk band Conflict, lived that fight until his final days. He passed away at 63 on June 2, 2025, leaving a legacy that still burns bright. Let's dive into his story. Back in 1981, Jerwood formed Conflict in Eltham, South London, channeling raw rage into music. Their debut EP, The House That Man Built, dropped on Crass Records, setting the stage for their fierce sound. By 1983, they launched More to Hate Records, giving a platform to bands like Hagar the Womb and Icons of Filth, shaping the anarcho-punk scene. Conflict wasn't just about music, it was a call to action. Jerwood's lyrics slammed war, capitalism, and animal cruelty, inspiring fans to rethink the world. Their 1985 track, Mighty and Superior, even cracked John Peel's Festive 50. But it was their 1987 Brixton Academy gig, the gathering of the 5,000, that turned heads. Fans clashed with police, sparking a riot that left 52 arrested. And that wasn't the whole story. Jerwood lived his beliefs. Rumors swirled about his ties to the Animal Liberation Front, and he once jumped off stage to confront fascist thugs attacking fans. His courage wasn't without cost. Some say it led to a brutal eye injury. Fast forward to 2025, Conflict dropped This Much Remains, their first album in years, while Jerwood battled illness, still performing with grit. His sudden passing shocked fans, who flooded online memorials with tributes. Jerwood's voice, angry, honest, ungovernable, lives on, daring us to challenge the system. What will you do with his spark? Prentis Hancock. What made Prentis Hancock a cult icon in sci-fi and British TV? From commanding Moonbase Alpha in space, 1999 to facing Daleks in Doctor Who, this Glasgow-born actor left an indelible mark. But behind the scenes, mysteries and unanswered questions linger. Let's dive into the thrilling story of Prentis Hancock. Born on May 14, 1942, in Glasgow, Scotland, Prentis Hancock seemed destined for a different path. He studied architecture, but a hidden passion for the stage pulled him in a new direction. Joining a local amateur theatre company, he honed his craft before training at the prestigious Rose Bruford College of Speech and Drama in London. That bold leap set the stage for something extraordinary. By 1969, Prentis hit the small screen, landing roles in gritty shows like Z-Cars, Dixon of Dock Green, and Softly Softly. His big break came in 1972 with Spy Trap, where he played Lieutenant Sanders, a key figure in a shadowy counter-espionage unit. It was intense, secretive work that showcased his knack for gripping drama. But that wasn't the whole story. Prentis became a Doctor Who legend, appearing in 4 stories across the 1970s. He faced Autons in Spearhead from Space with John Pertwee, battled Daleks as the impulsive Weber in Planet of the Daleks, and clashed with Chaos as Controller Salamar in Planet of Evil. He wrapped up with Tom Baker in the Rebos Operation in 1978, and even lent his voice to the Planet of Evil DVD commentary. His versatility was undeniable. Beyond sci-fi, Prentis lit up shows like Colditz, Survivors, and The New Avengers, tackling spies, soldiers, and survivors. He starred in films like The 39 Steps in 1978 and Defense of the Realm in 1985, and later joined kids' series Chockies Children and Chockies Challenge. His range kept viewers hooked, but a lingering question remained. In later years, Prentis kept shining, with roles in The Professionals and The Bill through the 1990s. He adapted and starred in Voltaire's Candide at the Edinburgh Festival in 2008, proving his talent endured. A regular at Space, 1,999 conventions, he connected with fans until 2022, leaving a legacy that still captivates. Prentis Hancock, who passed away on May 30, 2025, at 83, gave us iconic roles and untold stories. Katarina Mazetti. What does it take to turn a small-town tragedy into a global bestseller? Katarina Mazetti, the Swedish author who left us at 81, did just that. Her life was a wild ride from classrooms to radio studios to literary fame, and her story is anything but ordinary. Born in Stockholm in 1944, Mazetti grew up in Karlskrona and started as a teacher after studying at Lund University. But her real spark came at Sveriges Radio, where she produced feminist shows like Frigga. Those programs stirred up chatter. Some loved her bold voice, others didn't. But there's more to her story. In 1998, Grabben I Graven Bredvid hit shelves, inspired by a neighbor's grim death under a tractor on the farm where Mazetti lived for 20 years. This wasn't just a romance, it tackled grief, class, and love with sharp wit. The book sold 450,000 copies in Sweden alone, and became a film that over 1 million people watched. And that was just the start. Her knack for blending humor with heavy themes made her a standout. From children's books to novels, she wrote stories that felt like a chat with a friend. Her work reached 22 languages, selling nearly 1 million copies in France. But her rise wasn't without whispers. Some online buzz suggests her criticism of certain political groups ruffled feathers, though nothing's confirmed. When Mazetti passed in May 2025, Sweden mourned a literary giant. Eugen Doga. What does it take to become a musical legend whose waltzes rank among the world's best? Meet Eugen Doga, the Moldovan composer whose haunting melodies colored over 200 films, graced ballets, and even lit up the 1980 Moscow Olympics. A creative force until his final days in June 2025, his story is one of genius, grit, and a legacy that still captivates. Let's dive in. Born on March 1, 1937, in Moldova, Eugen Doga found music early and never let go. His talent exploded as he crafted scores for over 200 movies and 13 plays, each note dripping with emotion. From the dreamy ballet, Lucifer, to the passionate opera, Dialogues of Love, his versatility turned heads and built a foundation for a remarkable career. But that wasn't the whole story. Doga's 70-plus waltzes became his signature, with 2 soaring into the top 200 classical works of all time. In 2014, his piece Gramophone stole the show at the Romanian Academy Awards, sharing the stage with giants like Mozart and Strauss. The World Intellectual Property Organization took notice, honoring him in 2007 for a career that redefined excellence. And what happened next would shock everyone. Imagine composing for the 1980 Moscow Olympics, your music heralding the opening and closing of a global spectacle. Doga did just that, cementing his name on a massive stage. Moldova adored him, declaring 2007 and 2017 the year of Eugen Doga for his 70th and 80th birthdays. In Chișinău, a pedestrian street bears his name, a lasting tribute to a hometown hero. Rumors swirled about Doga's life split between Chișinău and Moscow. It's been said this dual existence fueled his unique sound, blending longing and mystery. Fans speculate his relentless pace, hundreds of works across decades, pushed his genius to new heights. Here's what's being said. Did this divide shape the haunting beauty we hear? The buzz keeps his story alive. Beyond the notes, Doga gave back, playing charity concerts at children's hospitals and in Tiraspol, touching lives with kindness. In 2012, he launched the international fund Dominanta, linking music and cinema lovers worldwide. By 2014, his Eugen Doga Salon opened, a haven to unite people through art in a fractured world. His heart matched his talent. Eugen Doga left us on June 3, 2025, at 88, a loss felt across continents. Samiha Ayoub. Who was the woman they called the Lady of Arab Theatre? Samiha Ayoub, a name that echoed through Egypt's stages and screens for over 7 decades, left a legacy that's hard to match. Her death in June 2025, at 93, sparked a wave of tributes and rumors. Let's uncover the story of this icon, from her humble beginnings to her towering influence. Born in Cairo's Shubra district in 1932, Samiha stepped into the spotlight, at just 15, with her debut in The Vagabond. Her voice soon captivated audiences through radio dramas like Samara and Rabah El Adoya, making her a household name before she even graduated from the Higher Institute of Dramatic Arts in 1953. But that was just the start. Theatre was Samiha's true love. She commanded stages in over 170 plays, from the Miser to Caucasian Chalk Circle, earning her the title of Arab Theatre's Queen. She didn't just act, she shaped the industry, leading the modern theatre from 1972 to 1975, and Ulkomi Theatre for a decade after. Her presence was electric, her vision unmatched. And what happened next would cement her legend. Her screen roles were just as powerful. Films like Among the Ruins in 1959 and The Dawn of Islam in 1971 showcased her depth, while the 1984 TV series El Mariah alongside Salah Zulfikar became a classic. Awards poured in, including the Nile Award in 2015, and the National Theatre named its Grand Hall after her. Yet, behind the glamour, her life wasn't without pain. Samiha married 3 times, to actors Mohsen Saran and Mahmoud Morsi, and playwright Saad Eddin Waib. But the loss of her son Allah left a wound she called a great pain in my heart. She carried that grief quietly, letting her work speak louder. And there was more she wanted to say. In recent years, Samiha spoke out about the decline of theatre, blaming a 25-year cultural slump. She longed for the days of Gamal Abdel Nasser, when art thrived and artists felt valued. Her words stirred debate, with some calling her nostalgic, others agreeing the stage had lost its spark. But that wasn't the only buzz around her. When Samiha passed away in her Zamalek apartment in June 2025, rumors swirled that cancer was the cause. Shigeo Nagashima. Who was Shigeo Nagashima, the man dubbed Mr. Giants, and what challenges defined his final years? This Japanese baseball legend's journey is packed with triumphs, trials, and a legacy that still has fans talking. Born in 1936, Shigeo Nagashima stepped onto the diamond in high school, quickly catching eyes. His talent shone at Rikyo University from 1954 to 1957, paving the way for a bold move to the Yomiuri Giants in 1958. There, he carved out a name as one of Japan's fiercest players. Known as Mr. Giants, Nagashima wore jersey number 3 with pride, a number now retired in his honor. His flair on the field turned him into a household name, dazzling crowds and lifting the Giants to new heights. But that wasn't the whole story. After hanging up his glove, he took the reins as manager, leading the Giants from 1975 to 1980, then again from 1993 to 2001. He was set to guide Japan's team at the 2004 Athens Olympics, but a sudden stroke derailed those plans. And what happened next would shock everyone. In 2004, Nagashima faced a devastating stroke, landing him in the hospital. Yet, he fought back, appearing at Tokyo Dome in 2005 and even starring in a 2006 TV ad. Years later, on September 7, 2022, a brain hemorrhage struck, sparking worry across the baseball world. Still, his spirit endured, leaving fans in awe. Beyond the field, Nagashima's family carried his legacy. Married to Akiko until her passing in 2007, he raised 4 kids. Son Kozushige, a former Giants player turned sportscaster and actor, a businesswoman daughter, a newscaster daughter, and a race car driver son. Rumors suggest a tricky dynamic with Kozushige, whose career never matched his dad's, but their bond added depth to the Giants' story. His achievements stunned the nation. On May 5, 2013, he snagged the People's Honor Award alongside Hideki Matsui, a star he'd drafted. In 2021, he became the first ex-pro baseballer to receive the Order of Culture. Then, at the 2020 Summer Olympics, he carried the torch, a proud moment amid health struggles. Sadly, on June 3, 2025, pneumonia claimed Nagashima's life at 89 in Tokyo.